Hi there guys, it's Joel here from Aussie Chart Trends. Today's update is for Monday the 4th of February 2013. Today's update we're going to be checking at the S&P firstly on freestockcharts.com, and then we're going to take a look at the Asx200 as per usual. Before we do that, I've got to remind everyone that aussiecharttrends.com.au and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in this video is intended to be used as any form of investment advice. I'm not a licensed professional. You need to make your own decisions regarding your investments. I'm just here to help anyone searching for a practical direction in today's markets. Okay, so let's take a look at the S&P 500. Okay, this is freestockcharts.com. Now, it's important when you first log into FreeStockCharts. I'm not too sure why, but if you get this blue bar down the bottom here and just slide it to the left, then you'll get a full view of the screen. For some reason, when you open up freestockcharts.com, this bar is always to the right. So if you can just push that over to the left when you log in, you'll be able to see the exact same lines that we've got drawn here. Now guys, we've been looking at this inverted head and shoulders pattern now for some time, with our left shoulder here, our head, and then our right shoulder. Now we know that that right shoulder was a little bit bizarre looking, and we did come down to back test another level there from our triple top formation. Now ever since, we've rallied up, and if we just go to a 15-minute chart or a 30-minute chart, we can see here on the 30-minute chart that we've just been between these two red lines that we've had drawn on the other chart for some time. And guys, it looks as if that we're creating a left shoulder here, and that the S&P may be creating a head here. Now, even though we do have our target of our inverted head and shoulders pattern is around that 1524, 1525 area. Now, what I've done is I've just changed the measurement of that pattern slightly. Now, instead of measuring it from the exact bottom where we've seen an intraday low, I've actually measured it from the very bottoms that we've had here and not the intraday lows. So that takes off 5 points or so. And I'd rather do that and have a lesser target in mind instead of expecting that we'll get up to 1530 when really we're probably looking at a tag on this green line up here if we can continue up. We may be looking at, with the S&P, a bit of a pullback. The thing to keep your eye on is this red line here, because I think when this red line breaks here, we should probably most likely get a trip back down to around the 1440s. 1450 area for a back test on this area, and I've been saying it now for some time. Even when we were back here, we were waiting to see this market probably break down out of this little triangle pattern that we had over here, but instead we've just come up and we've ascended up in this channel here. So we just need to get a good confirmation and a nice break of this red line here. If we were to break down in tonight's trade, a break of that 1500 area, and probably a break of this this blue neckline that we've got here. This is just a potential left shoulder. I'm not saying that that's the way it is, but that's something to keep your eye on. If we do break this red line in tonight's trade, just keep your eye on this blue line, because I think once that blue line gets taken out, then we'll probably most likely see a fairly substantial sell-off into the 1440s. If we have a look on the daily chart, we can just see here that looking at this overhead resistance line that we've been watching, we were able to get over this area in last Friday's trade. So it'd be very interesting to see if we can hold at this level and get a tag on that green line. But guys, steam is running out for the S&P, and it's just time now to be a little bit defensive, and we could expect that probably most likely a pullback to that 1445 area. Alright guys, let's take a look now at the Asx200. Okay, looking at the hourly chart here of the Asx200, we've been watching this market now just come up within this channel. Now this channel has been going for a long time. If we extend out to the daily chart in a moment, I'll just show you how big that channel is. We're pretty much waiting, guys, to see a break of this rising yellow bottom line here. Pretty much the same as the S&P 500. We've seen the move up, and in the weekly review we were discussing that if the Asx200 can rally on up, it would find most likely a level of resistance around that 4,980 level. as a peak for this market. Now guys, in tomorrow's trade, if we were to come down and tag on this yellow line here, we may be looking at, once again, a left shoulder to a head and shoulders top. So the S&P 500 and the ASX200 are behaving fairly similar at this stage. So I think it's good for now just to watch this bottom rising line. Now that line there is around that 4,900 area. If we go to the daily chart quickly, that gives us more of a clear idea of what the ASX200 is up to at this stage. Ever since November the 16th, we've just shot on up to brand new highs. We've been able to get over this purple line, which I didn't think that we'd be able to get over too quickly. But once again, we got over it, and you can see that we had that perfect back test there. We closed right on that line. Then we opened up the next day and had a nice bullish candlestick there. And then today, we've just kind of backed off a little bit. So one would expect at this stage that we would get some sort of pullback in the ASX 200. The only other thing is that we've got this blue line here. Now this blue line would act as some support. That's around that 4,800 area. Another support level there on the daily resistance levels would be looking at this yellow line here. You'd think that that would act as strong support there around that 4,650 level. Okay, so it should be an interesting week to see if the S&P 500 can get up to that target, or whether we'll see a break of that red line. And for the ASX 200, it'd be interesting to see if we can stay in that channel for another week and get up to that high level boundary level of resistance before coming back down. Alright guys, I'll be back tomorrow with another daily market update.